Congratulations for you coming here to see the tips that would help you buy properties in Nigeria without any issues at all. And I would be taking my time to list out these tips. Yes, there are certain things that you can see online, but this is me talking from experience, talking from things that I've witnessed. I've seen people cry because they did not know what to do, they did not know how to go about purchasing a property. Either you're purchasing maybe via a real estate company, or you're going through maybe an agent. Whatever it is, there are some things you should look at so that you don't make mistakes. There are mistakes that seem so out of place, but people make these mistakes and they cry and all. So I'll be covering all that in this video, so just stay tuned as I do that. So there are two categories here we're going to be talking about. The first category is when you're buying from a real estate company, and the second category is when you're buying without a real estate company. So when you're buying with a real estate company, these are the things to look out for. Number one, look out for the registration of the company. So for real estate companies in Nigeria, they have to be registered. I mean, that's obvious. You need to check out, are these companies registered? Or sorry, the company that you are looking to deal with, is it registered with the CAC? Just in case you don't know, the CAC, that's the Corporate Commission in Nigeria that is responsible for registering all companies in Nigeria. As long as you want to do legitimate business in Nigeria, it should be registered with the CAC. So check out for the registration number. Those things can actually be found online. If not, you can still ask the company to provide you with that detail. So when you check out this registration, the next thing you need to check out is the license to sell. So you need to check out that they are licensed to sell real estate in Nigeria. Now, what does that mean? Good enough, there are regulatory bodies in Nigeria that help us not to make mistakes when it comes to buying real estate and when it comes to dealing with companies. Just like you have the SEC that regulates financial sectors, we also have bodies. We have REDAN. REDAN is called the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria. So this body is responsible for regulating real estate development activities. So if there's any company that you want to deal with, you can easily go and check on the REDAN website for that company. So for instance, the last time I tried to, somebody met me and they wanted to buy a property and told me about the company, and I just checked on Read, and Read normally have a list. Sometimes this list is not updated, but they have a list of real estate companies that they have issued licenses. And once you go to their website, you see the list. You can download the list and you go through all the companies that are listed there. Check out for the company you're looking to deal with. If they are there, that is one pass mark for you, meaning that these people are registered and they're serious for business. So there are some companies that probably they just started and they've not registered. Whatever it is, you have to be very careful for those kind of things. Number three, the office and the company branding. We know that we are in a generation, we are in a time whereby people take branding very seriously. And what this means is that somebody can brand all they want and they are still not legitimate. So, but you need to look at the company branding. One advice I would give for this is this: look at that company's um brand. What is their messaging? What actually, like, their website, is it well designed? Does it look like they are serious? The number, the number on the website, does it tally with the number that they are using to call you? Maybe let's say you've made inquiries. Does this number tally? There are little things that we tend to take for granted, we tend to just overlook, but these are the things that can come off as fraudulent, as red flags in any transaction. So look out for these things so that you don't get beaten. Okay. So number four, verification of the land. That is land registry. So just in case you're new to real estate and you're new to buying properties, you should know this: every land, whatever it is, wherever it is, there is a there is a land registry that is responsible for taking note of all these things. So if, for instance, you want to buy a property, and you should check that this property is duly registered, because if you're buying from the real estate company, it's stated that they already have the right to sell. So if they have the right to sell, then they would have registered it at the land registry. So you need to go and check the land registry to see if they are the ones that have registered the land. If they've not registered it, then you have to ask questions. You need to know why is it this way, why have they not registered it, whatever it is. But that land should be registered at the land registry. So that's the verification of the land. That's you doing your due diligence. I'm sure you might have heard about due diligence and all. So I'm just giving you a tip on how to do it when you want to engage with a company. Of course, you don't do this every time, because once you've bought from a company one time, probably you can trust them that they do all the things they need to do accurately. Okay. Now, number five is the payment information and communication methods. It's strange, but you could find a company that is telling you to make payment, and the account details doesn't tally with the business name, and then there are discrepancies, and then they are giving you different reasons or different excuses why this is. It just does not make sense. Like, there are certain red flags, and these things should be taken note of. Don't fall for these things. See, they are con artists. There are people that would persuade you, give you everything, every form of information, excuse, convince you. But please, no serious business would have a different account um, description from their name. No serious business. So unless they are not serious, and I don't know what you're doing with this business that's not serious, unless maybe it's your brother, then I mean, go ahead with that. Now, communication method. How do you communicate with them? Is it easy to access them? How their office? Do you know the office? Have they been there for a while, or they just moved in last year and then they're already selling properties worth 50 million, 10, 100 million? I mean, take a look at these things, because most times people tend to get wiser after they've been duped. Please be wise before you get into that kind of trap. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. Now, another thing that happens is the agreement between buyers and sellers. So, every company basically have to buy the property, right? So there's normally this history of land. How did this land come about? Did they buy it from somebody, an individual? Did they buy it from say a community? How did they get this land? So for instance, one of the companies I consult with, Capital City Development, um, what we do is that in our deed, in our title document, we list out the history of that land. We show you how this land has moved, how we get to acquire this land, and why is this important? Because every land has a history. No land just came out of nowhere. Somebody is trying to sell a property to you, and you're asking the person, how did you get this property? And say, yeah, that does not matter. That does not matter. No do, no do. All right, so you need to check the I mean, ask your questions. So depending on how the size of the company is, if it's a company that's already been doing well, for instance, the next thing I want to talk about, the company's footprint. For instance, you see a company that has expanded to about 10 states. They have more than 40 estates in their portfolio. They are developing here, they are doing this, they are doing that over a period of time. You know that there's no question to be asked. This company has done their due diligence, they've stood the test of time, and they know what they are doing. So but if you see a company that's still starting out, maybe they're just new in the business, they're just in one state, just just coming up, you need to be sure so that you don't run into issues. Okay. And finally, property inspection. So I mean, it's a no-brainer. Go for property inspection. When you go there, be sure that you're looking, you're observant. Have they put up their signposts there? For instance, our company, we would normally put a fence around, or put a gatehouse, or put our sign that we're here. So imagine you're being taken to a place by a company, and there's nothing to mark, there's nothing to show that they are the owners of that place. No form of signpost, nothing at all. The agents are just telling you, don't worry, we're going to do this, and don't worry, everything is okay. Now they cannot even show you anything. They are even hurrying you, like, okay, now let's be fast, let's be fast, let's go, what, like, why? So these are the things that you should look at, and then you see that maybe you should rethink that buying decision. I'm not saying that you must. I mean, some of our clients don't come to decide, but because they know us, they know how genuine we are. Most time, just a video call, and they already know what we're doing. They know, like, they can point out people, real people that have bought and that are happy, real companies that have partnered, and then these things give them that peace of mind, and there are no issues at all. Okay, so now let me go to the part two of this, which